Hello and welcome back to another episode of Exos Heroes, and today we're going to talk about special dungeons. I know some of you guys have asked for this for quite a while now, and we just haven't really had a chance to get to it, and especially we're trying to put together a team that can do it well. Just wanted to make sure we understand the most as much about this as possible before we share some of our ideas with you guys. But today we're going to look at it, and it's going to be the theme for this week as well, as we will be touching on every single one of them throughout the entire week. So today, obviously, on Monday, this is going to be the fire day. So we're going to look at specifically how we deal with the fire blessing sanctum. And you can get the Star of Fate from just about every single special dungeons out there, but based on our experience, it seems like the blessing sanctum is the one that rewards you the most. Typically, we get around 16 to maybe 20 per round, so that's pretty good. I would say about half of our Star of Fate each day are collected through the Blessing Sanctum. So if you guys know why that is, feel free to let us know. We're not sure why each Sanctum tend to give a little bit different in terms of the rewards you get, but it's just our experience, and that's what we're going to use as our example today. But we have to say, even though we're only using the Blessing Sanctum here, the mechanics between each special dungeons are very similar. So whatever we talk about here, the mechanism here, can definitely be applied when you run other areas as well. The only difference would be, obviously, as you go to other areas, the requirement would be a little bit different. So you might have to bring a couple of different heroes in order to fill in your squad. But otherwise, mechanic-wise, pretty similar. So let's get started. But before we get into it, we just want to, show you guys what team we typically run. So this is a team that we typically run, which, doesn't meet the easy requirement. And we're unable to do the quick battles. So this is typically the team that we set up and we just put it on repetitive battle and it'll finish by itself. So this is a pretty solid team if you guys can get these heroes. And if you do have it, try it out. This combination might just work for you. And as you can see, we do have a pretty poor 3-star heroes here, and he is really just in here to fill in the rare wizard fire male requirement. But for today's video, maybe let's change it up a little bit. As you can see, we do have 3 fake cores here, and not everyone might have that. So let's just take a look at what are some of the possible replacement heroes. So for FC Rachel, obviously, he is very good to be here because he is pretty strong. If you guys do have him built up, definitely bring him, especially for the flow of mana passive that grants a little bit of mana to your backline. Just allow them to use your abilities a little bit more, and that's very important because you really want to spam those abilities. But today, I think we're gonna bring someone a little bit unique here, and he would be an great replacement if you don't have someone that brings flow of mana, such as FC Rachel. So that would be, we actually just built her up earlier today. That would be Carlos right here. And what he brings is a 0 mana AoE, and this is really, really useful because in the special dungeons, what we really want is crowd control, right? To be able to control the opponents throughout each stage will really help us. So let's put in Carlos and let's put him in place of our FC Maggie there. And as you can see, he's only at 5-star. We don't even have him completely fully leveled up yet. And then obviously we have the 3-star here, just putting him in the front line because he is literally just here to fulfill the requirement. And we do have a 5-star FC just regular Xian as well, and then we'll keep these two as they are. A couple of just want to point out a couple of potential replacement here, right? So obviously, if you guys have Sabrina, she is very good here as well because she does have pretty low mana requirement, especially her A2 with the AoE only costing 3 mana. It's very good at breaking Guardian Stones and keeping the opponents locked down. So if you guys have her, definitely consider her as part of your lineup. Let's see, FC Otar would also be a decent choice, but she is a little bit lower on the list because her mana cost is pretty high. So 5 mana for AoE, that's a little bit costly and can be a little bit slow. And another hero, I don't know if you guys know who we might go to right now, but for some of our long-term viewers, you guys might know who we're gonna bring up, and that's right, and that's Zeradin. He is your poor man's Maggie, right? 1 mana AoE and a 3 mana AoE if you need a little bit more damage is fantastic. So if you guys do have him and you're missing one of the AoE heroes that we're bringing here, feel free to swap him in because he is very good. But I think with today, we're just gonna go with this lineup right here. And without further ado, let's jump into it and let's talk about the mechanics. So overall, actually, the very first stage is typically going to be the hardest. And that's because every single special dungeon is going to have the same setup where you're running into a 5-man squad during the first wave, and it's going to be 3 heroes on the second wave, and then 3 more on the last wave, with one of them being kind of the boss heroes. So the biggest issue with the first wave is they do quite a decent amount of damage as all of them do, but the problem is because there are 5 of them, it's really hard to control or break their Guardian Stones all at once. That's why it's really important, if you can, to bring in these AoE heroes. So what we're gonna do is, because we do have Carlos on the 0 mana AoE, we just want to break everyone's Guardian Stone just by 1. And then this way, by the time Carlos gets around, he will be able to break everyone else's. But let's see, Carlos is taking a lot of damage here. And that's why you definitely want to make sure you bring a little bit of tankiness and a little bit of upgraded gear, things like that. But here we go, our 0 mana AoE. Everyone has already have one of their Guardian Stones broken. And there you go, all of them are down. And then now it's just about cleaning up. So what we're gonna do is, with Rachel, we're just trying to get a boost for everyone. So let's take down one of these heroes here, and this would give a attack buff and the speed and attack speed increase to everyone. There you go. And now we should just be able to burst them down. We definitely don't want to waste too much of our mana if we can save them up, because by the time we get to the second round, that means we can use our AoEs a lot sooner. So if you can hold on to your mana, definitely do it. But if you have to use them in order to take down the waves, then by all means. Here we go. Should be able to do close, but not quite. And we should be able to have Xian finish her off here. If not, at least she will be broken and we'll get her on the next turn. There we go. Alright, so now everyone is, pretty much full mana as we go into the second round here. And this is going to be a lot easier because there's only 3 of them. So we're going to use the same exact tactic. But what we can do here is, because we do have mana saved up, we can use Xian's A2 AoE right here on the wave. And this will allow us to pretty much break them right away. And there we go. So as you guys can see, we are not really taking all that much damage, except at the very beginning of the first round, because a lot of the heroes, they do move pretty fast, and the heroes like Carlos and Annie, they're not going to get their move before everyone else. So you're definitely bound to take a little bit of damage here, but other than that, we haven't really gotten hit at all. And that is really the goal with pretty much every single special dungeons out there. It's really just about making sure that you're using your skills at the correct timing, and then making sure you're breaking down the opponents as much as as fast as you can and as often as you can. But here we go, we're definitely down a hero right now, but that's okay. Again, we'll use our AoE as we can. And that's all part of it's all part due to the fact that we saved up earlier. So here we go. We'll use our heavier damaging skills here. Carlos is very nice because he does have the dot damage, so that can break Guardian Stones in consecutive turns as well. So I really do like him. We don't round him that often because sometimes AI can be a little bit stupid, but on menu it's definitely no problem. So there you go. Obviously you can see there we do have a pretty strong ratio, and he does, clean up the fight quite fast. But if you don't have him, as we mentioned before, it's not an issue as well. As you can see, Rachel didn't really serve all that much of a critical role in our run. It's really our AoE heroes, Annie, Xian, and most importantly Carlos, who are doing most of the work, as they are the ones who's providing us the necessary crowd control to make sure we're not taking heavy damage. And at the end of the day, whoever is your best DPS, whether it's Sabrina or Rachel or even Otard, feel free to bring them just for the burst damage. I'm sure everyone who gets to the special dungeon, you must have some pretty decent heroes out there. So heroes like FC Rachel that we're bringing here, it's definitely replaceable by just about anyone out there who can do decent damage. And lastly, as you can see here, we do have 16 Star of Fate. So that's kind of in line with what we typically see. Sometimes we do see a little bit higher, but we typically end, around 50 Star of Fates by the end of the 3 rounds. So there you have it, guys. Pretty much, how we deal with the fire days. We do bring heroes like FC Annie and FC Carlos and FC Zia into quite a few different dungeons, as they are very useful with their low mana AoE skills. So if you guys do have them, definitely consider them. Otherwise, heroes like Maggie, like Zeradane are good options as well. And if you do have a hard hitter like Rachel, feel free to bring him in as well, because he is definitely going to be there to help you clean up those fights a little bit quicker and get through these dungeons a little bit faster. But with that being said, hopefully this has proven to be helpful to you guys. If you guys need any other pointers or advice, just feel free to let us know in the comment section down below. We can definitely take a look at it and answer any additional questions that we might have missed in this video. But otherwise, stay tuned for other special dungeon guides that's going to be coming out pretty soon this week. And if you want to see other Exo hero related content, feel free to check out the rest of our videos. And lastly, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next episode very soon. Bye bye.